I kept a lot of good company because niggas came around me and they knew I was always talking about what's going on the other side of the fence.
Right.
Oh, you know, better they got rid of them. I don't want to talk about this shit.
Hey y'all, welcome to Let's Chill Mia podcast. I am your host, Mia, and today we have a very special guest, my cousin Dilt.
What's good, y'all?
Y'all, I decided to bring in Dilt because I feel like he is somebody very dear to my heart, somebody who has also kept me motivated throughout the years, one of my first best friends, so I decided to bring him in because I feel like he has a real story to tell. What's going on?
That much, man. I can't call. What's good?
What's good? How you been doing?
Been alright.
Okay. Like I said, y'all, this is my cousin. We're like double kin. If I spend time explaining that, it ain't on no Alabama type shit. But if I spend time explaining that, it'll take forever. But this is my cousin. Like I said, one of my best friends. My motherfucking dog.
Yeah, everybody always say on the boy version of you the girl, whatever it is.
And that's just it.
If you know me, you know how it is. So it ain't even what's understood. Ain't got the business plan.
That's it. So like I said, I decided to bring you in because we go all the way back to diapers. We're only a few months apart and everything. And when I decided to start this podcast, I was just trying to think of people I could bring in, people that I felt like had a story to tell, people I felt like people could relate to, and people could, learn something off of or be motivated.
And you know what's crazy? I don't mean to cut you on. It's crazy because when I seen you put the podcast on, I said, shit, I wonder if she gonna have me. It was crazy because I swear I thought about it.
One thing about it, no matter what I do or where I go, I'm gonna make sure you're a part of it. So let's just take it back. Like I said, we're cousins, a couple months apart. So let's just take it back. Growing up, I'm the girl version of you the boy version of me. Let's just talk about this growing up, just our childhood, how close we were.
Oh yeah, I remember always being double trouble. We went in the same grade and that, but hey, we were definitely two peas in the pod.
Definitely two peas in the pod. I remember either, like, especially on the dirt road growing up, either we was into it with each other, we was into it with somebody together.
Yeah, and then school, that was a whole other shit. But hey.
Yeah, so with you bringing up school, like, you was an all-around star athlete. I remember you ran track, you played football, you did all type of stuff.
Yeah, I did a little bit of everything. I think when I got to high school, I tried to focus more on just football. But I couldn't let track go because I was just natural fast.
Yeah, natural fast. And
something I always have.
And me being a girl version of you, I might not look like it now, but yeah, I could dust some ass. I could dust some ass. I didn't run track, but put me in the middle of the road, I was dusting ass.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so okay, us growing up, we talked about us growing up and everything. We went from What about when you left Nona High and came to Green?
Oh yeah, that was a year to remember right there. I think when me and Zach was in pre-K, they told me that we couldn't be in the class together no more back then. So when I came back down, that rule still applied, but we found a way to still raise hell in those boy.
And it's so messed up because, like, we spent time, like, trying to figure out how we could either we were coming up there to your school or you was coming down there with us.
Man, we stayed plotted at school.
We plotted some stuff. So when I tell you, when we got together, we spent 1 year together and we were not allowed to do it anymore. But like you said, that 1 year come with a lot of memories.
Oh, yeah.
It was very the food fight.
That's what got me back on the one-way ticket on the house. That food fight. Man, I'm saying that food. When I called my dad and told him what happened, he said, "Oh yeah, your ass going back doing that shit." Now I tried to get a face to talk to him. I tried to get drum up.
I think my mom was fed up with us too because she did make us go to church. Go to church 6 Wednesdays straight. Me, you, and Zach, we was on punishment for acting the ass.
Yeah, we did that.
Do what we do. So, from there, I graduated, like you said, we're a couple months apart, but your birthday is late, so I was a grade older. So from there, I graduated. You went back to Noonan High, and when you went back to Noonan High, then you got accepted into a college, a football college.
Yeah, it was like a starter program. It was a JUCO school. It was a program called Atlanta Sports Academy, but we went to school at Atlanta Metropolitan College. It was alright, but it was unorganized. Being that it was a first year program, it was very unorganized, so I ended up packing my shit up and going around the road. And plus, I had a child, and it was born in the middle of all that, so adjusting to that and school at the same time, that shit was a little hell. So I just ended up moving back and coming back down the road and ended up working in Warehouse, did back and forth, Queen Hell like them, because
it wasn't for you. But like you said though, I mean, honestly, that's how I was when I went to college. I stayed there. I never really wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to the military, but I chose college because I felt like, I would be close to my family. I wouldn't have to leave them or whatever. And I found out it wasn't for me. And so from there, I dropped out, I packed my shit and I left too. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it wasn't no money at school. My daddy made sure I was straight every week I went back to school, but I felt like it wasn't enough. So from there, we ended up separating and we ended right back up at a job together.
Oh yeah, I'm on there. It was like high school all over again. Yeah.
It was definitely like high school all over again. Both of us ended up fucking fired. Okay, so I want to get into the topic of today. The topic that I chose today is mind over matter. And when I Googled the definition or the description of mind over matter, it said it's a situation in which someone is able to control a physical condition, problem, etc. by using mind. So when you come to mind, that phrase pops up in my head. Like anytime I think about you, mind over matter pop up in my head. Mm-hmm. Simply because you had to leave us for a little while and go do a little bit. And I must say, while you were gone, every time we talked to each other, you never sound like it was affecting you in a negative way. So let's just talk about the day you found out you had to leave and go do that bid. Like, what type of feeling was that?
I say the feeling that I had then, I really was more shocked, surprised, caught off guard, because we had been going to court 5, 6, 7, 8 months to a year straight, like back and forth from day, which I was just putting it out, but for us to go on there one day and they be like, okay, look, this what's finna go on, and y'all got this amount of time to do this and do that, and then it's over with. So
right.
I had to lock in, then I had to make some decisions then, because really, me being me, I'm like, shit, they gave me a recess, I'm finna go home, I'm finna get gone, I'm finna make them come do their job, but
right.
Talking to family, they like, nah, they gonna get it over with,
right.
And I thank my family for helping me make that decision because, that I was fortunate enough to just go ahead on and get it over with and just go ahead and do my time and come on out.
Right, because I remember that day. I remember like it was yesterday. You called me and we had a brief conversation and like I said, shit, I'm gonna be here while you gone and I'm gonna be here when you come back. We're gonna be waiting on you. And what did you tell me? When you get out, you gonna wait.
Meet y'all at the top.
And I promise you, and I can honestly say, like, I feel like that stuck in your head because every time we would talk, first of all, when you would call, just say we would, like, during the holidays, I had to be the last one they get a phone to because they knew if we got on that phone, nobody else was going to be able to talk. But like I said, I never, me being in a family of where I've had several people to do time on, I had a boyfriend to go do time. It was different with you because your mentality was different. Like, you never sound down. And I know probably plenty of times that you didn't have, you was down, but I felt like you knew how to, for some type of way, you kept your spirits lit. And I just want to know, how did you go about doing it? Like, what kept you motivated?
I mean, just thought of one day I know I'm going to be back on the other side of the fence.
Every time we would talk, it was always like, what y'all got going on? What the style is, what everybody wearing, what's the music? Like, even though you wasn't physically there with us, it's like you kept up with what was going on. So I felt like when you made that transition out of there, you didn't have to catch up. Because even though physically you wasn't here and you missed out on a couple of years, when you jump back out here, the way your mentality was set up, it was easy for you to just hop in line.
Right, and see, I credit a lot of that to my support system because I was able to call so many different people and just get a peace of mind. Like I can go get on the state phone. Most niggas in the prison they ain't able to get them. Go to the state phone because it make it difficult to set them up and use them. Folks just don't set them up, but I can go on the state phone and go on there and ride 3-4 hours on the state phone and call them a 15-minute call, but it's just how many people I had on my side. Then I get on the cell phone, and some people get on the cell phone and do different stuff, call family. I might get on the cell phone for hours at a time, and I don't call nobody. I just surf the internet.
Right.
But I'm staying intact to what's going on the other side of the fence, and that's another reason why, when I was in prison, I kept a lot of good company because niggas came around me and they knew I was always talking about what's going on the other side of the fence.
Right.
Oh, Billy got wet up on, I don't want to talk about that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was never that. Like, I promise you never talked about any other bad that went on. Like, it was plenty of time, like, damn, is anything even going on in that bitch? Like, is he good? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I know he good. Like, it's just like, damn, everybody in that bitch, she was like, when to come home or something, because like, you never ever talked about. I just seen such thing, like, it wasn't about what you was living and going through at that point. It was about what the hell we had going on and what we were doing and what was going on the outside world.
Yeah, and then another thing I always did was, I always, like, when I got my time and when I got in the jail, because, before I had went to prison, before I got my time, the most time I had did was probably 3-4 days maximum in the jail.
Right.
I'll get locked up and burned right out in a couple of minutes or hours. So I never had no time, so I had to adjust in the county jail. And then when I get to prison, it's a whole nother scene. You gotta adjust all over again. And then when you get to your prison that you gotta adjust all over again. So I was just adjusting. But I always said I was gonna make the best of the worst situation throughout the whole sentence. So I lived by that, and when I did that, it just made stuff a lot easier for me because I always looked at like it could be a lot worse,
Yeah.
And I was around a lot of people that was in a lot worse situation, so it was easy for me to just look up, wake up, just thank God that I'm able to go home. I don't know when yet, but I know I'm going home.
Right.
And then once I got my date, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in there now.
The day you got your date, what type of feeling did you have? Like, was it even? Are you even able to put that into words? Like, how did you feel?
I mean, I knew I was coming home June 2019, but like normally they'll set your date like 30 days before time, so you'll know in May when you finna come home in June.
Right.
But me, they drove my ass all the way up until the week before. Like me and my dad and my mom, everybody would call to the road board every day, 3-4 times a day, trying to figure out why the hell I ain't got no date yet. And then finally one day my daddy called. You ain't heard? I said, no, I ain't heard. They said, well, they got you coming home that night. I said, huh? Man, listen, I don't think I slept the rest of that week. It was just, man, I was just so, I had gonna start back trying to work out and stuff, cause I had gonna got discouraged again. Like I had gonna messed up in the head house and got sent back to prison.
Right.
So I had to do an extra 6 months. I had to came home like 3-4 months before I got released, but like I said, I messed up. So when I went back, I had not got discouraged. I'm like, damn, they keep on here. They ain't giving me no date. They might be setting me off again, but they came through that date. I came back out here.
And and it's crazy because, like you said, you was discouraged, but we were still communicating, and nobody heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe if it was a certain person or particular people that you was vulnerable with, but I never heard that from you. You know what I'm saying? You was still like, shit, I'm still on the way home. I'll be there, I'm coming home. Like,
I think the only person that probably got that part of me was my dad. That's the only person that I would probably just call to him, and he'll be like, man, you straight, man, just, you don't need that time. You might well just chill, now you finna come home.
Right.
He'll keep that in, and then I call y'all, and I don't even be on that. We'll talk about some whole other stuff.
Yeah.
So my mind just go whole other place. And then too, man, a lot of people like, how you did your time? Like, my whole prison be like, it's like, prison is a world inside of a world. And like, so, when you go there, it's gonna be what you make of. You go down, you on the bullshit, or you gonna be in some bullshit. You gonna stay in some bullshit. You go there, you chill, people might try you, but they gonna see, okay, you think you're gone, he ain't no pussy, he ain't no bitch, he's straight. So, it's what you make of it. But, for a long time, like, I was just cruising during time.
Right.
I smoked weed every day. That's how I did my time.
I mean, hey, whatever get you through those days, right?
That's why I picked up the cigarette every day. I started smoking cigarette. Now, early in my bed, I was a little more, I was a little more nervous. So I don't know if I was nervous. My nerves were wrecked because I was in a place where I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
It took me a long time to figure out.
It was foreign for you.
Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out what the hell was going on. I knew about gangs on the street, but it's a whole different type of gang. This bitch like this.
Right.
This real, this gangland, you know what I'm saying? So and then like the prison I was at, it was a money getting count, but it's some gangster shit going on too. So you gotta keep your head on super for everything. Like, it was a hell of an experience, and I feel like a long time I feel like that's the only thing that may have slowed me down because I was on a crazy path. But I don't feel like prison I should have went to prison to help me out. I feel like I could have helped myself out in prison, but I could help myself out without going to prison.
Right.
Would that have cost me my life, or would it have cost me to not go, if I went to prison, what would it cost me to learn stuff I did on the street in prison?
Right. So when you got out, you know what I'm saying, I remember, we all went out to eat and everything, and you start adjusting back, to society. What was a few things that you noticed were kind of different from when you went in to when you came out? Like anything you noticed that was different or felt different?
No, I'm not gonna say anything that felt different because I was just so in tune. Like I was just so in tune with what was going on. It's even though I was in tune, it's still a different feeling. Like I never actually get the real feeling of what it was, but once I got the feeling, I'm like, hey, I'm out here.
I know a lot of times when people go and they do time and they spend years away, they come back and they be institutionalized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It be so hard for them to adjust. A lot of times they can't adjust to the point they go back. So that's something I gotta applaud you on that. You got out and you said you weren't going back. You stayed out. You've been doing your thing, and I'm really so proud of you because you set so many goals for yourself. Like as far as coming back home, and do you feel like you pretty much accomplished most of your goals since you've been here?
I would say probably about 25% on my health. I got a long way to go.
25%.
Yeah.
Guess what? You've been doing a damn good job. 25%. Shit, I thought you were halfway there at least.
Yeah, about 25%. I just don't never settle hard on myself. So that 25% of me would be, that 25% to me would be 100%.
Right, or at least 85%.
I hold myself to a little higher standard. I'm not just trying to be better than them, but that's just how I was raised.
Right.
And I gotta credit a lot of my success when I came home to my dad had me set up. Like I came home to taking over a lawn service. I came home to he had me set up with a real estate company delivering. Like I was set up, so people didn't know. People seen me cutting grass and stuff. They didn't see all the other stuff I had going on. Behind the scene, like you said, what was different when I came home. Let me go back to that. I noticed it took more when I came home. Before I went to prison, you can have one job, be straight, but now it takes even if you got a job, you need a side hustle, you need kids, definitely. And if you're gonna be in a relationship, it's got to be somewhere hey, both of y'all need to be bringing to the table.
Right.
Both of y'all need to bring to the table, but it should be.
It should be one sided. I agree with that. I definitely feel a lot of times, and especially now, because I feel because of social media, a lot of women live in this world to where the man got to do everything. You know what I'm saying? And then not so much. I feel a lot of times they feel it's all about the woman. They forget that a man have feelings. They forget that the man, you know what I'm saying, if he's working all day like that every day, shit, don't nobody want to come home to no bitching and no nagging. So that's one thing about me. I look at the fact, I guess with me growing up, having my daddy in the house, I would see how hard he would work all fucking day. By the end of the summer, he would be dark as hell. You know what I'm saying? Because he had worked his ass out. And I would just pay attention to little shit he didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Because your home should be your place of peace. Mm-hmm. And I know we getting off topic, but like you said, things are different. Because I feel like watching, you know what I'm saying, like watching your dad and Betty, I feel like you saw them work as a team. And it's just like, and just like my parents, they worked as a team, but then you listening to what's going on and you see what's going on now, people expect it for it to just be one sided. Right. And to me, like, I can't hardly get with that because, and honestly, like, a lot of times, like, when niggas come at me now, or men come at me, they feel like first thing they gotta throw off your money. Like, shit, I got my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that you have it, and I'm glad that you can do for me, but I'm over here doing for myself. So really,
I never take that approach right there.
So that shit, but you know what? It's sad though, because I was talking to somebody and the other day, and he was just like, sometimes, I mean, when they do try to come at a woman like a certain way, they like, nigga, send me a cash out to talk to me, or you know what I'm saying, like, take me to, you know what I'm saying, nigga, my light bill due.
Yep.
Like, okay, so fuck it, I'm not gonna talk to you then. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm super proud of you, and I know I just got so far off topic, but that is something that kind of it irritates me a little bit because I'm just like, man, the economy is fucked up right now. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect just one person to take care of everybody. You know what I'm saying? It takes two. It might take three or four.
I mean, that one person can, but she's gonna be drained.
It's gonna drain you. It's gonna drain you, and you know what I'm saying. Especially like when, as a person, like when you're working toward, like you said, you have so many goals, and it's like I have so many goals, so it's just like I can't put all my eggs in one basket.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah,
because I would get so deep into that. It's just like me being observant. I watch a lot of stuff and I'm just like, you know, I did grow up in a home where, you know, my dad was a man of the house and he did this and he did that, but every household is not the same. Everybody can't survive the same. And I also know that back then shit was way cheaper and it was easier to come by and it was easier for things to happen and for people to survive. Like you said, it was easy to survive off of one job. But now you gotta hustle, you gotta post, you gotta sell your feet pictures, and now you know what I'm saying, shit get real.
Back then, you know, like $15, $20 an hour, you making that type of money.
Yeah, you in the game.
My mom and dad grew up making that type of money, and we were living like, you know, we were very fortunate.
Very fortunate. I say that because, like, we grew up pretty much the same. Like, honestly, until I got old enough to actually understand, I used to just think, like, we were damn near rich. I know you felt like that. And then once I got older to understand, I'm like, they were working hard to sacrifice and just make sure we lived the life that they felt like we as their kids should have. But, like, it's crazy because...
And see, that's another thing, that's the benefit of coming from a big family, too, because, you know, you like... Our mamas and dad made sure we was straight, but you know, aunts and uncles, they did the same thing.
I was just, came through. If our parents were lacking, we never do that because they had their siblings or people around them that was gonna come through. So we never got to experience what was going on behind closed doors. They didn't put us in their business as far as that. All we knew was life was good. Right. Life was good. So we're getting close to the end. This has been a great conversation. I really enjoyed this. So I do this segment every week called Affirmation of the Week. You familiar with affirmations and stuff, right? So the affirmation I chose for this week is giving up is not an option. And I pretty much chose that affirmation just based off of you. And you know what I'm saying, how hard I've seen you go, you know, all of your adult life, regardless of your situation, regardless of where you were, giving up was never an option for you. Like, and I definitely applaud you for doing that and for just, you know, keeping your head on the swivel and just getting out here and popping your shit and doing your thing. And I don't give a fuck, like, if you ever wake up one day feeling like, I'm not doing enough or whatever, just know I'm bragging about your ass. Like, I'm always, like, people might haven't met you. Like, I know plenty of people haven't met you, like, especially like my co-workers and stuff, but they will tell you, like, I'm always bragging about you, talking about you, because you got out here, you got on your shit, and you really, like, surpassed a lot of people that have never went no fucking way but sat in the same fucking spot and they still there. And you know, and at the end of the day, that's not your fault or our fault that they still there. You just had a plan and you put that plan into motion. Right. So I'm proud of you and I want you to just keep going. And like you hard on yourself, like I'm hard on myself. And I set so many goals for myself. But one thing I do when I accomplish one of them, I reward myself and I pat myself on the back because a lot of people they might set a goal, but they be scared to even take a leap of faith to even try to accomplish. And even if you don't accomplish that goal, at least you can say you fucking tried. And that's me. It's just like, man, I tried it. And like a lot of people, like when I said I was gonna start this podcast, I had a conversation with one. One was like, everything you try, like you go hard. He was like, you do so good, and then you just stop. And my thing is like I lose my passion in it. But one thing I know I'm definitely passionate about is talking to the people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Oprah, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like shit, one day me and Oprah gonna sit down together because I feel like I'm so real that Oprah gonna feel me. And if she don't feel me, then guess what? She ain't who I thought she was.
Straight like that.
And that's just it. So the last segment that I like to do is called the Feel Good Song of the Week. Just like me, you love music. We both love music. You know, I might bust out into a song. You might piggyback out there and tape. You know, so what song this week have you been listening to, or that has just lifted your spirit, or a song that's just been on your mind, like something just motivated? It can be whatever you've been listening to.
Well, for me, man, I like the Georgia Bulldog, but I follow Deion Sanders a lot. I like that guy, you know.
I love
him. And I seen him on the video with a guy he put up on in the car, and the song that was kind of, I had to put my Shazam in on my phone because I never heard the song. It was a Young Dolph song, but the song is To Be Honest by Young Dolph.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Young Dolph wrote that one. That's my song right there though.
So that's what you just been rocking out to?
Man, that's on repeat in the car right now.
Okay, okay. So my song of the week is If Pretty Was a Person by Wale. Wale is one of my favorite.
Oh, yeah, you like Wale.
I love Wale. That's one of my favorite rap artists. And one thing I love about Wale is he goes so hard for brown, black women. You know what I'm saying? Like women of color. He loves us, and he always try to input that in his song, implement in his song. So If Pretty Was a Person, like he went hard on it. He was just pretty much just telling you, you know what I'm saying, how you should feel about yourself, and from the perspective of a man, like shit, you on your shit, you pretty, you know what I'm saying. The whole song is catered to that. Mm-hmm. So that's my song of the week. That's my feel good song of the week. Y'all check it out. Let me know what y'all think or whatever. I hope y'all have enjoyed this episode because I have really, really enjoyed this episode. What you think?
I think it was a great episode.
I think so too. It was good, and I appreciate you opening up because honestly, you, like you said, you jumped out, you got out, and you just hit the road. So as long as you've been out, we've never had no type of conversation about you being gone.
Yeah, and it's really the first time I probably sat down and had a conversation because it ain't that I don't like to talk about. I just don't seem to have time. Like I be working, like I work, and that's what I do. Like I try to stay far on the legal side, so you know, doing things that way it take a little longer. So you gotta keep that grind. You gotta stay on that grind.
Right.
So, you know, I have problems all the time because I like to work. Like that's what I do.
Well, guess what, man? Keep popping your shit. Stay on your shit. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep working. And keep setting your goals and keep accomplishing them. Y'all, this has been another episode of Let's Chill with the podcast. You can follow me on IG, TikTok, and YouTube at Chill with the podcast. See y'all next time. Let's chill, y'all.